Good afternoon. I am on the back of the caboose today. Typically, it's a lovely, beautiful day. You can see the effects of the wind. We've been breaking record temperatures this week, and I was thinking about, as I often do, and working on me, of the things that I can control and change in my life. Thinking about my attitude, no matter what is going on, my attitude's up to me. I strive to feel my feelings, to channel and do something physical, to let out the anger, frustration, things that bother me, etc. I think that's very important to be able to let it go. Doing things physically is helpful. Also energetically with voice. It makes a difference, so I'm not storing that stress in my body. And I was thinking this week particularly about how it's human nature to want to take revenge when somebody does something to us, when we are wronged, when somebody bears false witness, when someone commits a heinous crime to someone we love, a family member, somebody in our community, or just in general in our nation. The instinctive reaction typically is of anger, outrage, and wanting to get back at that person or persons. And that's natural. I think that is a really good time to stop and to really evaluate why did this happen, and to look at the base, the foundation of why this person came to the point of doing something so awful, came to the point of being an abuser, came to the point of lying right out about somebody. And when we do that, we're more apt to be able to get to the crux of why, and then being able to solve the problem, at least a much moving forward in a better way than just a knee-jerk reaction. Sometimes I believe that people, we see the examples so often that people rush to judgment. They crucify and lay not only blame but guilt on people before the entire situation is understood or known. There are some situations, maybe many, that the evidence is completely there, and we know who did it, we know what happened, and then we go from there. But I've learned that it is so true that if we do an eye for an eye, that we're all going to end up being blind. And people need to be accountable. People need to, I truly believe that families need to communicate better. I love my smartphone, and I firmly believe that there is a time for its use and a time for it to be put down, and that the information age that we have at our fingertips, that we are losing a connection, that the connection through a text message is not the same as being in front of somebody, in their presence, with them. And we need to work on our communication with such diverse, with the diversity within our society, as in general. There's not a lot of diversity here where I live, but there's so much that we can learn from each other, and knowing that there can be such a chasm between opinions that that we won't even listen to somebody else. I want to know why. I want to listen to people and understand where they're coming from, because I definitely have there's a divergence in what I believe and what another person could believe about the Second Amendment and what it actually means, gun ownership, my opinions of just regular laws around town, to being on a sex offenders list, that people can be on a sex offenders list when they've done something that had nothing to do with sex. Our laws can be very messed up. So I want to know why. I want to have an understanding, to grow, to be able to be a better citizen, and to listen. And I also know that there's a time that I'm going to draw my sword and make the mark in the sand that this is where I stand. I will not, this is the line, this is it. The answer is no, or the answer is yes, and I'm not taking no for an answer. If that makes sense, hopefully. And keep striving to be compassionate and understanding of people, and to have a backbone. This past week, my judgment is many of our elected officials, particularly Republicans, have completely lost their backbone. And it's because of the money that they get from certain groups and people. And they're afraid to lose that. And I think about our elected senators from each state have 6 years. That's longer than an average work life for a job today. That why not worry about that? Why not just do the very best job they can, and not be so concerned about re-election? Wouldn't that be a novelty? I think we would have a lot more things done in Washington, and perhaps even in our state capitals. And it's important to be informed and to take part in the process. I urge you to get outside if you can, to enjoy the day, to choose a good attitude no matter what, focus on gratitude for life, and until next time, enjoy the weekend.